Hello and welcome everyone to another inventRight TV show. My name is Andrew Krause. I'm one of the co-founders here, and we have one of our amazing inventRight coaches, April Mitchell, on, and she's going to talk about a product she licensed. Hey, April.
Hey, Andrew, how are you doing?
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You know, we just don't have coaches on as often as we should talking about some of the products they license, so thank you for coming on.
Yes, happy to be here.
So, we were just talking before we went on here, and I think it was interesting. Your evolution of your prototype on this one is very interesting, and it probably was one of the reasons why you ended up licensing it. Like, do you think you would have licensed it if you just went with what you initially were thinking, as opposed to what you ended up with? Do you think it was better, and do you think that helped you close the deal?
I definitely think it helped me close the deal because it was close to manufacturer ready, right? And I think I had a good chance of licensing it without it getting so far. But when companies can see how far it is and they think, oh, wow, I just have to do a couple things, make a couple tweaks, and it's ready to go, I think that helps them out a little bit. Now, I can't do that with all my products, but when we can, I think it's beneficial.
Yeah, you probably don't do that with most of your products. But in addition to that, the fact that you had kind of a cool, fairly refined prototype, it changed quite a bit. And so, why don't you show the product for? Well, why don't we play the video? Let's do that.
Okay, yeah.
So let's go ahead and play the video, guys. Here we go.
Hooked on hoops. The court is anywhere you imagine. It's easy to hook this hoop anywhere. The fun never has to stop. You make the court, you make the rules. No shot is too tough. No excuses, no limits. You will shoot faster. Trick shot master. The game goes wherever you go. Team Extreme. Take that shot.
All right, we're back. So that's a really cool product, April. Can you hold it up too? You have one right there, right?
Yes. So this is the end result, hooked on hoops, and it's a nice big rim with it's metal, and we've got the grippy arms in the back here, so it can wrap around just about anything. A fence, a chair, a tree, a person, all kinds of things.
I don't know if that's going to work, April. Kids aren't that creative on figuring out how they want to attach. And of course, they're super creative. They're going to have a blast with that.
They're going to come up with all kinds of places to put this. And that's the thing, too. I mean, often we're limited of where we can play basketball, right? So we have a hoop on the back of one of the boys' doors, and we play out in the front. But you don't always have one where you could go. So the idea is, you could put this on a boat, you could put this on a tree while you're putting riding your skateboard by, like, all kinds of crazy fun stunts.
You could attach it to your arm and hold it up on the back of a chair. I feel like I'm a Dr. Zeus. I'm going to do some Dr. Zeus stuff here in a minute. Back of a chair, in your hair, on a bike, on a trike.
Exactly. Well, and that's exactly it is. The whole thing is trick shots, right? My kids are always trying to do trick shots with the basketball anyway. So not only now can you do trick shots, but you can do trick shots anywhere in all kinds of different locations and weird places and different ways. So that's really what we're trying to bring in that whole fun trick shot.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, but the evolution, really cool product. And I think your earlier versions were cool too, but I think the one you licensed is better. Can you show us some of the earlier versions of your prototypes?
So my first prototype, I got one of these simple little hoops. I think I probably got it like at one of the dollar stores, Dollar General. And I literally glued some Velcro and on the back of here and put it double-sided so then you could kind of...
Can you put it in the center of the screen? So there you go. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay. So the idea here was you could wrap it around your arm, your leg, and then we had a clip on the top so you could like kind of clip it to your shirt or your pants. And this was, when I first started pitching it, it was a wearable basketball hoop. And so the idea would be someone would have to put this on, and then there was a deck of cards that would give you the challenge. So maybe you're marching, maybe you had a spin, and everyone else would try to make the basket while you're doing these challenges wearing the basketball hoop. So I actually had pitched it to a couple companies while my kids were doing this live. So that was fun. And people thought it was fun, it was funny, but I also thought, well, how can we bring this to be something where you could tailgate? So I'm thinking, how can we put it on a table? What can we do so it can hook on to other things? Because just Velcro wrapping around it isn't going to do the trick. And so that's when I then got my handy dandy camera piece here that literally moves and wraps around. And what I had done was I literally just wrapped the Velcro around this a bit, and we used this. And so it was more like this. And the legs would wrap around the banister of the stairs and hook onto the vehicle, the car.
Yeah, you were just trying to find something that you knew of, these tripods for, and then you sort of wrap it around. And so how did that work? How did that...
It worked pretty well, actually. I mean, these are a little thick and they're not very long, but it worked pretty well. Enough to at least shoot some video and show the concept, right? The proof of concept, like, hey, this works. It's a lot of fun. What can we do with it? So after I shot some video and got some fun footage, I linked up with my friend Matt Anderson, who is another inventor and does great prototyping as well as some videos. And so I said, hey, can you take all this footage and make me a killer video with it? Because I was working on lots of projects. And so he took a look at my footage and my prototype. He's like, this is an amazing idea. But April, I can make you a better prototype than that. And I said, what? Okay. So,
let's talk about this because, and as a coach, you see your students do this sometimes. You kind of make a prototype or you have envisioned what it is, and then you're just very resistant to changing it at some point. I don't think you were, but a little bit. You were like, what do you mean?
I know, I did all that work, right? I
did all that
work, but I knew his work, and I knew he could make it better. So we actually, this is the box that it comes in right now, but this blue hoop right here, this plastic one, he made the backing for it, and we took this hoop and he used the same backing. So the backing that's used today on the actual product is the prototype that Matt made. So he made this prototype and made it phenomenal, did a great job. So he put this backing on a bit sturdier hoop than I had shown, already. And so then we used that, and he filmed that, got some good footage of it. I got some footage of it on a boat last summer and things like that. So this, what is now on the actual product, was what he prototyped to work.
And
so,
I like it. The arms are a little bit longer. People are familiar with those, whatever you call those things.
Right.
So what's the lesson here? That, I mean, some inventors go too far the other way. They keep, it's not quite right, it's not quite right. So what do you experience with your students? People go too far, they constantly refine. Some people don't refine enough or think about how it could be a little bit better. How do you know?
Right. Well, the thing is you don't want to always wait until it's perfect, because otherwise you'll never pitch it, right? And so I pitched it, like I said, to a couple companies, got some good feedback. There was excitement, but it seemed like there needed to be more. Right. So, okay, then I added the bendable arms to it, and my footage was decent. It was good. Who knows where I would have gotten without it. And then I partnered with Matt to make even a better prototype. And sometimes it takes that, but it doesn't have to be thousands and thousands of dollars to get it to where you can pitch it. I would have pitched it with just this, how I had it with the video. And I would have pitched it like that if I didn't have someone to make me a better prototype. And that's okay. That would have worked, and I could at least have gauged to see it. And I got some interest from a few companies, and then you know how it is, Andrew, it kind of whittles down, and then you decide who you want to go with, what you want to do. And so we landed a licensing deal, and then it came out I guess early fall it came out. I think August, September timeframe.
Where could people get it on Amazon, Wayfair, some other places too?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Amazon, Wayfair, and then the company website, which is bowlingball.com. And then they're in the works of getting into some retailers.
Okay, we'll make sure to put the links down in the description.
Fantastic.
So So you did pitch the other version, and you were getting a feeling like you weren't getting traction. You weren't quite sure, and you
Right.
might have changed it anyway. You might have not. You might have kept pitching it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you pitched other products with fairly crude prototypes and still got interest, and you were good? So it's not like you're saying you always have to have this more refined prototype, and it's not necessarily even about refinement. I just think the interface, if that's not the right word probably, but I think the mechanism, the attachment mechanism is better.
Oh, definitely, definitely. But no, I've pitched things with cardboard prototypes, with prototypes that I've made, spending $10 at the local hardware store. And one of those products will be coming out in the new year. And, I'm excited to show that prototype too, because you're like, April, that's it? That's all you did? Yep, that's all I did. So sometimes if we can get our point across and spend the least amount of money possible, but get it to a spot where companies understand it and they can see the vision, then that's what we want to do. Because I'm pitching a dozen ideas at least at a time. I can't spend tons of money on every prototype or any do I really want to spend lots of money on, right? So it's important to be able to show the product in use whenever possible, especially in the toy and game industry. They want to see people playing it. They want to see it in use. That's really important to show a sizzle video. So you can have a really beautiful virtual prototype on a sell sheet and then show a kind of a crude prototype video just to show, hey, this is how it works and it is fun, right? And that's I think the way to go with it.
Right. Okay, good. Well, thank you for sharing your experience. I just, your first version with the Velcro was kind of cool, but I could see it maybe slipping down or things like that. And that spidery, those whatever you call those things, we've seen them on other people. You can buy them, right? Whatever you call them. It just, you look at it and go, I could put that thing anywhere,
Exactly. And you can tighten it and put it all different directions and all different places. So it really is the key to having like limitless fun and trick shots anywhere with basketball. So, but you're right, the Velcro would have slipped down. It didn't work on everything I wanted to put it on. So then you have to think, okay, what can work? What will do this?
Now, so what are some lessons here? You can start showing a product, you can get some feedback or get a certain vibe and make a change. Now, sometimes one company says one thing, they're like, I got to change everything up. That can be a bad idea too.
Right.
But other times it'd be good to adjust and change. And a lot of inventing is, as we say at inventRight, is done after you're reaching out to the companies. I'm not saying you half-ass what you send out. I'm saying you make adjustments like you did.
Right. I think that's important, right? Gauge it. I mean, if we changed every product from each valuable feedback that we get, then we'll have 10 different products of the same one, right? Or 10 different versions, and we don't want to do that. And so I usually take that feedback and kind of sit on it for a little bit and see what makes the most sense. Or if you're getting that same kind of feedback from several people, then I may address that. Then I will decide, okay, there's so many people interested, but they want to see a prototype or they want to see this a step further. So do I want to invest in that or not? And so that happens often, but until I've shown it to a good amount of people, I'm not going to typically do something special for just one company. But if I see that one thing that they're giving feedback to could benefit and appeal to multiple companies, then maybe I'll consider it as well. So if it's something specific for just one company, I'm going to wait a little bit because there may be other companies that are interested in exactly how it is now.
Mm-hmm. The other tip that you gave that I really like is you could have a sell sheet. You got a beautiful 3D rendering virtual prototype. You're like, okay, that's what it's going to look like. And you're saying, it's okay. Now, I did a video too, especially with toys and games. It's nice to show kids playing it, or adults if it's an adult type of toy or something like that. And it could be cruder. They're like, oh, but that's what it looks like. But, I'm showing the play factor. I'm showing the fun. And I'm glad that you said that because I think sometimes, you can shoot it from kind of further away and you don't see the duct tape on it. Or maybe if you touched it a certain way, it would fall apart, but you shot it 3 times so it didn't fall apart and you showed the fun, and that's okay. You're not lying to them. You're showing them what it's going to be. So I really like that you gave that tip as well.
Right. Well, and just to add on that too, Andrew, you can really have magic in your videos, right? You know, like you said, you know, don't show the duct tape, right? You can make
Right.
it appear that some things, you know, are tweaked a different way, or maybe they work another way, but you're not capable of doing that exactly with your prototype.
Right.
You can create sound on the video, even if that prototype doesn't really make sound yet,
Right.
But it has the capability when the company gets their hands on it. Or maybe it spins. Well, yours doesn't spin, but maybe you show different views of it and you make it look like in your video it does spin. So we can add that magic to it, our video, to really show things that it can do, which is some simple editing
Which
skills.
I'm glad you said that, which is okay. So just because you can't do as an inventor, you know that they can do it. So you're not lying to them when you're using some movie magic. I mean, when you watch a movie and they have CGI and all this stuff, are they lying to you? Or are they showing you the fun? You know, I mean, they're not lying, and it's okay. And then inventors are, oh no, I need it to be perfect and working. I'm going to spend $6,000 on a prototype. It's like, oh God, don't do that. You work on a lot of products when you work on a lot of toys and games, and God, if you spend a ton of money on each prototype, you know, most of the time you spend just whatever the materials cost, right?
Exactly. And once in a while, I might work on something where I hire something out. Like I just hired some, I don't know, laser cut wood to be done for something, but it was under $200 for a few different samples, right? So to me, that's doable. You know, but if it were thousands, then I would definitely think twice.
Right. Well, April, congratulations on licensing your product. Thank you for sharing your experience. I'm glad we talked about the prototyping. That was fun. We're very spontaneous guys. We weren't actually completely sure what we talk about. We just kind of jumped on. We were kind of like, you know, let's talk about the prototype. But we just like keeping it real here at inventRight. April, thank you so much. Thank you for helping all your students as well. And I'll remind everybody to take care and keep inventing. And we'll catch up with you guys next time. See ya. Bye.
Bye.